Racist, sexist, anti-queer. We decide no painted as like a feminist thing, or that it's done from a feminist perspective. Now, what I think about feminism is an identity. It's an action. And if your actions target women's bathrooms with your very expensive stickers, mind you, they spent a lot of money on the promotion of this film. They also had to spend a lot of money to hire out the room for those big, very nice posters, very big stickers that plastered over the women's bathroom. And also, they had to pay for the film rights. Now, I see that they wanted to put proceeds towards prostate cancer research. That's a very noble pursuit. I asked them, why did you spend so much on promotion if you wanted to put money towards prostate cancer research? I talked to a couple of the people around the place who are here to support the film, and they note some interesting statistics, such as that men are more likely to die in battlefronts, and men are more likely to die at workplaces. And I ask, is feminism the one that's killing these men? Is it perhaps a military capitalist industrial complex that has been sending men to wars that they shouldn't be fighting in the first place? Is it perhaps the fact that predominantly white, bourgeois women have been unable to attain the right of work? Now, I say white, bourgeois women because women of colour and working class women have had to fight for their survival through paid and unpaid
There's stuff going on up there too.
For millennia.
What it is.
I ask if the people inside this room, from the Libertarian Society, from GROSOC, from the Conservatives, the Liberals,
Fuck the libs! Fuck the libs!
If they were so interested in combating gender inequality, why have they never reached out to the Women's Collective? If this is such a feminist film, if this film was such a great film, why didn't you ask the Women's Collective to co-host? Would you co-host? What's a great thing about questions such as, would you co-host it, is I would like to ask if perhaps you're aware of the work the Women's Collective has been doing for the past decade on campus. The Women's Collective is currently in a battle against the university to see sexual violence combated on campus. We have been advocating for years to see survivors who are studying supported so they can complete their degrees in safety. So I ask, if you're so interested in us co-hosting your events, why do you not lend a hand to help us with our initiatives? A statistic they bring up is that men experience sexual assault, and this is true, and this is a terrible, terrible thing that happens. A lot of men can't speak up when they're sexually assaulted. A lot of women can't speak up when they're sexually assaulted.
What about the men experiencing domestic
violence? The interesting thing about men who experience domestic violence is perhaps that they're not dying at a rate of more than one a week in our country. Like I'm down there. Really interesting. Shut up. Are you guys? You're not talking something. No. Let us speak.
Let us speak.
When you're elected by the Women's Collective to be Women's Officer, I'll let you ask some questions. Now, a statistic which is a police statistic. Now, we're not talking about something that is from a pro-feminist site. We're talking about the New South Wales police website.
We know they're not feminists.
States that 1 in 5 women will experience sexual assault in their lifetime.
Shame.
That's 20% of women.
Shame.
So I asked, when it comes to issues such as the red pill, where are we putting our time? Where are we putting our energy?
Where are we putting our money?
What we need to do is prioritize the issues that affect the most people in order to combat this. Now, sexual violence can affect anyone, irrespective of gender, class, race, and ability. It is a particularly experienced by Aboriginal women, by disabled women, and it adversely affects women from working class backgrounds who cannot access support. So I say today, let's prioritize those who are most affected by gender inequality and put our time, energy, and resources, such as expensive A3 stickers, into stopping sexual violence for all.
And the unfortunate reality and the sick reality of the world that we live in is actually that it's the people at the top of society, the people that are in control of society, the people that have the most power in this society are the ones that are the most racist, most sexist, and the most bigoted. You just have to look at the recent election of the President of the United States to get an idea of that. Donald Trump. You know, this guy who they say that he wants to grab pussy, and that he thinks it's obviously a woman's own fault that she gets abused or she gets raped. A guy that thinks like that, that speaks like that, he is now the President of the United States. And this is not something that's just specific to Trump. We see President after President, Prime Minister after Prime Minister, the kind of rich elite at the top of society, some of the most sexist people in society. People probably remember before Malcolm Turnbull there was Tony Abbott. Obviously a massive sexist who said such things as the carbon tax, or getting rid of the carbon tax will be good for women because they do most of the housework. Shame! Yeah, shame. Does anyone else want to speak? Okay,
Hi everyone, I'm April, I'm the Education Officer in the Sydney University SRC. Everywhere you look in our society, women are systematically oppressed, everywhere you look. The gender pay gap in this country is at 19% for full-time workers, full-time women versus full-time men. If you take all women of working age and all men of working age, it's more like 35% or a 40% pay gap. Outrageous. We have a government who just announced with its budget that it will cut $3 billion out of the welfare state. That's $3 billion less for single mothers, for women with disabilities, for carers of people with disabilities who are normally women. That is a massive attack on them. The increase in student fees that was announced last week, $2.8 billion out of higher education, while this government gives $50 billion to big businesses, the big end of town. Shame. It's already the case that it takes women 10 years on average longer to pay back their head debt because of the gender pay gap. How much longer is it going to be with a massive fee hike over the next 4 years that this government wants to put on students? How much longer? 20, 30 years maybe. And these people, they don't care about anyone. This film is not about raising awareness about anything. It's about the fact that Donald Trump's in the White House, Le Pen was in the second round, Pauline Hanson's on our news, and they want to capitalise on that. That's true. They don't care the contents of this film. They're not, they can't be persuaded. They can't be rationalised with these people. The whole point of screening this film is to try and create more organised alt-right forces on this campus. And as the left, we have to show them that people on this campus do not support alt-right ideas. We will not allow them to go unchallenged when they air this film here. I tell you doesn't have freedom of speech? Donald Trump is spouting everything these fuckers are saying, and they want to say it's a problem of freedom of speech. Everything they believe gets aired all the time. It's all over the newspapers, all over the television, all over the internet. What bullshit do they think that their freedom of speech is under attack? It's the left whose freedom of speech is always under attack. Whether it's about refugees, huh? Why can't people working on detention centres report what's going on in the detention centres? Where's the freedom of speech for them? Why can't a Muslim woman in this country just acknowledge that other wars are going on right now without being called as Jasmine Abdel-Naguib, who dared to say, lest we forget Palestine, lest we forget Syria, lest we forget Nauru. That makes you an enemy of the people, apparently. So where's the freedom of speech for Yasmin? Nowhere. Where's the freedom of speech for people who want to stand up for Palestine? Nowhere. We have to defend freedom of speech. The left are the champions of freedom of speech, and women will come under attack when they dare assert their rights because the state is on their side. The state's full of fuckers like this. They know where they're going. They're going straight to the top. New South Wales Parliament just blocked a motion today to decriminalise abortion. Shame! Shame! But I want to go back to that budget because the class war from the rich and powerful in this country will always disproportionately affect the women. But you know what? It's going to affect the entire majority here. The whole majority, male and female, these people couldn't give one fuck about. Not for the people struggling on welfare, not for the people struggling on minimum wage. They don't care what sex those people are. They want to rule those people. They want ideas that can grind us down, and we're not going to let that happen. Next Wednesday, as the education officer, I've been organising as part of the nationwide demonstrations next Wednesday to say no cuts to higher education funding, no increase in university fees. This is an attack on the poor, an attack on women, an attack on LGBTI people, an attack on people of colour. It affects everyone. We need to stand against it. So next Wednesday at 12 p.m, I want all of you and all your friends to be over at Fisher Library to say every attack on the poor is an attack on women. Every attack on workers is an attack on women. And we will not allow it to happen. No cuts to higher education. Make education free again. We will take your disgusting slogan and turn it into something valuable. Make education free again. Next Wednesday, 12 p.m. at Fisher Library. Fight the right. Both these little cretins over here and the ones that infest our parliament, and the parliaments all over the fucking world. We've got to get rid of them. Next Wednesday, 12 p.m. Make education free again. Make education free again. Make education free again. Make education free again.
Make education free again. Make education free again. Woo! Yeah, and I think it's safe to say that a whole bunch of those credits that April mentioned that are in there right now are watching that viral film of the people that want to be the Tony Abbots of tomorrow, the Malcolm Turnbulls and the Donald Trumps of tomorrow. These are people in the Conservative Club and the Liberal Party, the young Liberals, that want to make their way to the top. And that's the normal kind of pathway for people that want to make it to the top. They start out as these vile, sexist bigots hanging around on campus and follow their path to the top of society. Tony Abbott was in the student union here, shamefully, years and years ago, starting his sexist, racist messages back then. And the left was doing that back then to Tony Abbott. We'll do that today to the far right that's on campus when they show their face. We're not going to let them have their vile offence. We're not going to let them put up their racist, sexist propaganda without the left there to counter it, without the left to have a protest outside to say their message, without the left putting posters over theirs that say, actually, no, Muslims are welcome. No, actually, women do deserve their rights. And so we're going to continue to do that. Is anyone else going to say something?
Why does you talk about men's rights every single time I talk about women's rights? Why is it that you only bring up men's rights every single time I talk about women's rights? Do you really care about men's rights? Or do you want to make me shut up about women's rights? What do you care about? Women's rights is nothing new. It's been on for thousands and thousands of years because of women's rights to be able to vote.
They're filming the person who organised it, but only after they're done talking, so we can head over there later.
Maybe years in advance. But you know what? Women's rights are important. It's always been around. And men's rights activists, I want to ask you, where have you been all these years? Why do you only come up now when I talk about women's rights? Why do you just want, why do you
Excuse me, I need 5 seconds.
Anyone else want to have a go on the mic?
Yeah, you definitely like with Triple J Harris. That's where you're going to
Holy shit.
Alright.
Oh, I'm selling a ticket. It's $50,000, mate. Over here.
So I actually just came in from Canada a week ago, and I found out about this yesterday, and I'm super excited to be here. And I just want to say that all of you guys are doing awesome things, and this fight is universal across the globe. In every single continent, people are fighting with you. This isn't just in Australia. This isn't in Canada. This is everywhere. This is a global movement, and you